The eve of the weekend, a lot has happened throughout the week, including the census exercise, to some of the top stories that have defined headlines throughout the week, including that story around Telkom Kenya and Airtel merger, as well as the Kenya Commercial Bank and NBK acquisition. We have all this covered for you here on the program this afternoon, including Week in Perspective, where I shall be hosting Ken Gishinga. And of course, we shall also be having with us today in studio Brenda Kerubo, who is also on our business team, as well as Noah Kipkemboi. Brenda, what do we have lined up this afternoon?
Of course, there'll be quite a number of business news making headlines today, and of course, you will be reviewing some of them that made headlines this week. But first, let's begin with what made headlines today. The Kenya Airports Authority Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Johnny Andersen will not renew his contract after it comes to an end on 21st of November 2019. And this is why. Of course, we do know Johnny Andersen has been the CEO for now about 3 years. He did join the job in November 2016, and his term was set to expire on the 20th of November this year. He says that he will not renew his contract, and he cites personal reasons because of this. He says that he joined, of course, he joined KAA on 20th November, but he has requested the board to ensure that he can leave the company as early as possible, of which you're talking about sometime in September 20th. He says that he's giving personal reasons in relation to this. But let's take a memory back in relation to Johnny Andersen. And what exactly has he achieved since he came from from Europe about 3 years ago? We did see that under his leadership, the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport did receive the last point of departure status. This, of course, paved the way for the direct flights between New York and Kenya. Quite a big achievement. And we did also see quite a number of achievements when it comes to sort of creating Jomo Kenyatta International Airport as a potential hub when it comes to traffic between Nairobi and other countries in the region as well as globally. Now, of course, he's also credited with a number of offers, but the board was very quick to highlight that they will name a CEO and also a managing director really soon. But in the meantime, they will have an interim CEO who will be holding up even as they make the selection process going forward. But that's the discussions when it comes to the Kenya Airports Authority. We do have other stories, of course, making headlines, and they include BOC Kenya, supplier of industrial, medical and special gases, has posted a 29 million shilling profit after tax for the half year ended June 30th, 2019. That is a 66% drop from 57 million shillings recorded over a similar period in 2019. Now, the loss is linked to a shortage of a key material and unscheduled plant downtime that impacted availability and cost of finished goods. Now, revenue for the 6-month period was, however, up 1.6% compared to the same period of 2018. Board of Directors declared an interim dividend of 2 shillings and 35 cents per share to be paid out on 15th October 2019.
It is around water treatment. This is a new area that we hope we can work. We've had inquiries from one of the larger county governments about using oxygen to sanitize the water that is supplied by the authorities.
We have more customers buying the mass product that doesn't have as high margin as the other industry gases. So in the second half of the year, that mix is going to totally change because we get back our raw material and get back the volume of industry gases that have a higher margin where we sell into other specialized industries. So the volume and value mix is what has affected the profitability in this first half.
Swivel has announced plans to pump 1.5 billion shillings into its Kenyan operations. This investment will see to it that the current operations are improved and aid in scaling their business into other towns and routes. CEO Swivel says that they are working with the government to help improve the transport sector at large, and that they aim to reach a more local consumer base than before.
In the past 2.5 years, we've grown significantly from 100 bookings a month. Now we do millions of bookings a month. So we're the biggest player in this space, in this category globally. Kenya and Nairobi for us was the first actually choice when we chose to go out of Cairo and chose to go out of Egypt. we believe heavily in the breadthness of the Kenyan market and how progressive the Kenyan consumer is, and we believe that there's a huge opportunity in the market when it comes to talent, when it comes to building the ease of doing business, when it comes to building an actual transport system here. We believe there's a huge opportunity, and that's why we're even far more committed now than even when we started. And we believe that we want to invest heavily in the Kenyan market, and we want to eventually make Kenya our hub for Africa. Basically, where it becomes the launch pad for our Africa operations, I'd say.
Residents of Nairobi are calling on the county government to set up waste disposal bins to ensure citizens do not litter alongside the roads and within neighborhoods. A spot check by KTN Business revealed a sorry state of affairs in most parts of the city that lacked waste bins. An alliance of like-minded Kenyans who converged over the week to clean up Ngong Road and the Greenhouse Mall expressed concern over the culture of garbage disposal, claiming this was what was choking Nairobi City's drainage. The CEO of Twiga Tours, Minaz Manji, who is behind the initiative, called on Kenyans to observe hygiene of Nairobi and to reclaim its status in the contentment of one of the cleanest cities.
Businesses on this road, and so we are very happy. We are thankful to the government for having taken this initiative, and I think that a lot of our residents who are having and facing challenges on Ngong Road will now be able to travel without much difficulty.
Wakazi wote wa Ngong Road wajitokeze kila mwezi, the first Saturday of the month. Initiative ya governor iko ya kusafisha mtaa na inafanyika kwa kila ward. Otherwise, we are very grateful to all the stakeholders around Greenhouse and all those who joined us today. Yeah, and we'll proceed that way every month.
As an enforcement officer for the county, ours will be to put measures that will ensure littering is reduced and dumping. And basically what we are going to do is to put in pressure deterrent measures that will ensure that the environment